heading out to MSRH for a private track day that I mentioned in the last video. Private track day is basically, if you are a member at MSRH, you can have a few guests come in that day for like 180 bucks, which is extremely cheap for an all-day track day. So that's what I'm doing today. So just to give you guys like a little backstory, or a little, I don't even know what to call it, just to give you an idea of what to expect out of this car, at least for me, what to expect. When I first started tracking way back in like 2013, I was in the Turbo FRS, so that's like for you OG subscribers, if you guys remember that car. I was able to hit like a 209, still learning the track, learning the car, learning how to drive on the track, and some really old tires that were not rated for the track. So 209, and I thought I was pretty quick. Then not too long after that, I sold that car to buy the house that I currently am in, and yada yada yada. And then for you not super OGs but more OG subscribers, that you guys knew, I got the STI, which I was building that for the track, and I believe I was able to hit a personal best of 201 in that car while still learning the track. So it wasn't too bad, but I ended up selling that car because there's just too much to maintain as a track car. It was like oil consumption, overheating issues. It wasn't the ideal track car unless I was willing to spend a lot more money into it, which I wasn't really willing to do. At the time, I was just looking for a little fun toy that I could track around with. And it did its job. 201 is nothing to gawk at, but for like a 380 horsepower car, it should have been a lot faster. But that's more on the driver, you know, I was learning the track. I sold that, and eventually I got the Civic Si, the FA5, what it is. And then that's the one I was really hardcore into tracking and learning the coursing, and I got a personal best of 149. Which isn't my average. My average tends to be around like 152 to 153. That 149 was just honestly a fluke. It was like perfect track conditions, fresh tires, fresh brakes, no traffic, and I nailed it. I hit it, made all my turns perfect, nothing went wrong, got a 149. But with that being said, I don't expect a 149 today. If anything, if I can get anywhere below sub 2s, I'd be extremely happy. My buddy Greg, with his Evo 10, he said near stock he was able to lay down a 155, I believe is what he said. And honestly, that's kind of what I'm hoping for, a 155. Now, if I can get something along the lines of a stock Evo 10, that'd be amazing. But like I said, anything sub 2s, I'm extremely happy. I haven't been to the track in almost 5 years now. The last time I tracked a car was back in, I think it was like 2018, 2019 for Super Street FF Battle in the Civic. And then as soon as I finished that up, I got an offer from somebody who wanted to buy the car. I didn't really plan on selling the car, but the money he offered me was basically what I wanted. So I sold that and just been kind of like track carless for like the longest time. I've been building the Accord, as most of you guys know, but that's been like stuck at the wrap shop in limbo for God knows. I'm dealing with that right now, dealing with it off camera because it is a buddy of mine. They are sponsoring the wrap, so I can't really say too much, but at the same time, after shutting down my shop, I needed storage space, and he's kind of keeping it there until he finishes. So it's like a give and take, you know. He doesn't finish, but I get free storage. But now I'm in the GR Corolla. I'm really rambling on. I'm heading out to MSRH. It's a private track. Alright guys, so I have my tire pressure set at 30. It's still a little cold, 46 degrees Fahrenheit as you can see here. So I'm setting it at 30 PSI just in case they don't warm up out there. Got my lug nuts all tightened down, squared, ready to go. 9:33, our session's about to start. Well, let's see how she does. Alright guys, a quick update. So the car, while super fun on track, is not up to the standards I thought it was going to be. I guess I'm a lot less rusty than I thought I was going to be. I got out there and it was just like riding a bicycle, man. Like, I knew where I was supposed to brake, I knew where I was supposed to turn in. Now, while I still do have to learn where the car likes to be in certain corners, because it carries so much more speed than the Civic, I need to learn to be in a certain gear. Braking is different, obviously. You know, these are like, while being 4 pistons and 2 pistons front, it's still like not a race pad. They do have a lot of bite, and they are fresh pads, so they do stop. They just don't stop as quick as I need them to stop. So as you can see, based off my Harry's lap timer right here, I was able so far to get a personal best of 2 minutes and something, 2 minutes flat and some change. And that is knocking on the door of where I wanted to be on my first session out. I'm still trying to play with the tire pressures. They keep heating up a lot later into the session than I'm used to. These are like a 320, 340 Treadwear tires, so while sticky for what they are, they're just not sticky enough for me. So they take a long time to warm up. And yeah, they don't help with my braking. The car has a lot of body roll. Even one of the guys out there was like, man, like, you're flying through these corners. It doesn't even look like the car can keep up. And it can't, honestly. But hopefully messing around with the tire pressure helps a little bit. Even like towards the middle of the session, I'm still around like 35 PSI, which I would really like it to be 32 PSI by the time I'm done with the session. 32 is where I would like it to be, is what I'm used to being at. You know, some people are saying it could even be a 30. But, you know, different tires like different things. Yeah, so still messing around. 2 minutes flat. Let's see if I can break that sub 2 minute mark and get my goal of the day. Alright guys, and that's going to do it for my very first track day. I don't know how the videos are going to come out. I realized about midway through that my the mic that was connected to my GoPro was not working correctly, so it might be a lot of wind noise um, from the video. So I'll see what I can do there. And this mount was like, the car is so shaky that like I don't know how this is going to do, so I might need to find a new location for this GoPro mount. I thought it was going to be okay. This worked just fine in the Civic, but just didn't work in this car. So anyways, that's enough babbling on. What did I learn from today? Overall, which I've probably said throughout today, but it's been a very long day, was that, one, I'm nowhere near as rusty as I thought I was. As soon as I got back out on there, I knew exactly where I needed to turn in, exactly where I needed to brake, exactly what I needed to do. That being said, this car, while very competent on track as is, if you're just like going around cruising for like the very first time, is amazing. But when you start to push it as hard as I do, and you know all the limits of where you need to be, the car can't keep up. Suspension, the car has a ton of body roll. I almost felt like it was gonna flip a few times in going as fast as I was. The brakes were great, no fade. They didn't boil over. They worked how they were supposed to work. But I do wish they would have stopped me a lot sooner than they did. Now that could be more so on the tires. I won't know until like I get some more seat time, but the tires only being a 320 Treadwear, while still very sticky for most newbies, wasn't that great for me. I found myself braking way too late, even though where I would normally brake. That could just be because the car is a lot heavier, so I might need to adjust that and brake a lot sooner. But I also feel like it definitely needs a new set of tires for sure, at the very minimum. But I'm not going to do all that yet. I still want some more seat time in the car first. I need to relearn the lines. The lines in this car are not the same as what they would be in my Civic SI. Obviously, front-wheel drive, all-wheel drive, I get that. But, you know, I was going out there and I was learning the car. I did find that heel towing in this car, for whatever reason, was really difficult for me. I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just rusty, but I did find myself using the IMT mode a lot more than I thought I was going to. I tried heel towing. Like I said, I don't know if it's because the car's not stopping quick enough for me to like be used to that. So for now, I'm using the IMT mode, which actually became quite an annoyance because what was I gonna say? Sorry, it's been a long day. Because I have to turn it on every single time, and sometimes I forgot, and I would think it was on, and I would just shove it into third gear, and boom. So I did have to turn that on every single time. What else? Other than that, the car is really fun around track. I did have an issue shifting into third gear sometimes, like later in the latter half of my runs. So I know a lot of you guys suggested I probably should have changed my transmission fluid in my last video. I thought I wasn't going to need it. Maybe it's not it. Maybe I'm just terrible at shifting and it's just been that long. But I feel like, since I felt like it was only in like the latter half of my session, I feel like maybe it was just getting too hot and like it just wasn't thick enough. So I'm gonna switch it over from like an 85 to a 70W90. So that's probably what I'm going to do next. And other than that, the car was great. I can't complain. Like, I mean, all I needed was my I didn't know anything I needed it, but I took out my torque wrench, torqued down the wheels. One or two were like not to torque, but other than that, yeah, guys, this is a really great car to go out and learn in. But if you're anywhere near, not, I don't want to say I'm advanced, but definitely more on like the more intermediate, like borderline advanced, I would definitely say this car needs some work. But it's always good to have a good baseline. So I met a lot of my goals. I shook off the rust. I was learning the car more or less, so I wouldn't really check that one off. There's still a lot more to learn about this car on track. I met my third goal of getting sub 2, and I met my fourth goal of not only matching my buddy Greg time. I think I even beat it slightly, which is very, very great, because like that was like a near bone stock Evo 10 with like better tires compared to like a bone stock Corolla with no tires. I think at the time he said he had full bolt-ons and a tune, no turbo upgrades, no engine upgrades. It was just like intake, downpipe, catback, and a tune, and better tires and brakes. So for me to match and slightly beat his time, maybe beat, I gotta check on the exact tenths of a second, but either way I matched it for sure in the seconds terms. And for me to do that in a bone stock car versus a modded car, I think that's an overall victory for the day. And I'm driving home, I'm about to go pick up my kids actually, and I did all that with my car seat still in the car. So I have like an extra 40 pounds worth of weight just sitting in the back. But yeah, guys, other than that, I can't really think of anything else off the top of my head that I want to convey to you guys. If you guys have any questions, one of the things I was worried about is if my rear diff was going to overheat, especially since I was out there for like 30 minutes. I had no issues, but once again, it's like still like 50 something degrees. So I don't know who the guy was in California and how cold it is over there, but I didn't have any overheating issues on my rear diff. Come summertime, I don't know how that might change. So I'm not going to wrap my exhaust just yet. I want to see how it does. Oil temps were around 245 at the highest I saw it, which isn't bad. But I could definitely see it getting a lot hotter during the summer. With an oil cooler on the STI, I think I never saw anything above 230 in the summertime. So for me to be already seeing 245 in a bone stock car, granted this is 0W20, I probably should have went with a 530 since I knew I was going to track, but I didn't think I was going to be pushing it this hard today. But I ended up just getting in my old habits and trying to beat my own time, and you know how it goes, right? I'm a very competitive person, even if it's just competing against me. I'm my biggest enemy, right? So to recap, shook off the rust, somewhat learned the car, got sub 2s, got 154. So fun car on track. Definitely needs some work if you're going to push it as hard as I was. But other than that, guys, until next time, I hope you enjoyed the content. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I do videos like this all the time. Track videos, DIY videos, just all around vlogs. So until next time, guys, later.